Hey guys, JCB here. I would like to discuss with you on my experience with Towerborne. We start off with customizing our character as we get to choose on how we want to look like. Voice types are also available during the gameplay, however the audio mixing between the music and voice seems way too off as you may need to lower the music to hear it clearly. Other than that, I was able to get this done, and next we will be choosing out of the 4 classes. Each of them are unique with their own different weapons and abilities, as we can test them even further when we are able to get through the tutorial to see which one suits us best. Next, we get a small cutscene that talks about the people living at peace in the City of Numbers until suddenly it is under attack. We get to control our character and follow on-screen instructions on how to heal ourselves and perform basic attacks against the opposing threat. When the text is given to tell the events, there is no voice acting involved as it misses out to show the magnitude of the current situation. We also do work together with a person named Rix as we try to get rid of these monsters. At this point, we get to have more of a feel with the combat as it is a beat 'em up game where we will be going through the stages, beating up waves of monsters until we reach the very end. With its 2 button system to attack, it brings in different combination inputs you may press to get different results, as that will bring more options that we can use at our disposal. In addition, defensive methods are available such as the evade and dodge roll, whereby we can use this in all different directions to not take any damage and set ourselves up for the counter attack. As we go on further, we get to learn more different features that will aid us in our journey, such as healing ourselves at the shrines and gaining an umbra that will be able to assist us in battle. Each different one we get will have a special ability attached to them, and with the offensive ones, they are useful against enemies who sometimes need to have their guard broken. We can do this in other ways too, such as charging the heavy attack and getting other perks later on. Another thing we get to learn is the weapon mechanic. This feature acts like a special attack that is managed by a meter which needs to be filled up before we are able to use it. These are able to perform flashy moves, as I enjoyed using this with the Pyro class build to heat things up in all sorts of ways. There will be other common routines shown in the tutorial, such as the enemy coming out from tents. It is advised that we should focus on taking them out first, or they will keep on coming out to drag the fight on for even longer. Another set piece would be the boss fights, as they would have armor properties to make it harder to stagger them with our combos and certain attacks that would force us to dodge. They also have a stun meter in which if we drop it down to 0, then they will be stunned for a period of time and we can deliver a flurry of attacks before they can fully recover again. The boss's lair will each adopt these 2 main traits and will have their own unique attacks and movement up their sleeves, in which we will need to adapt in terms of defeating them. At the end of the tutorial, it stops with a gigantic monster taking us out, and we later get a second chance with the help from Paloma. They let us know that we have been resurrected as an ace and they need our assistance to protect the people of Numbers and help them return to the Belfry. This is where the narrative drives in to set the pace of what we would be expecting with the story. Again, without the voice acting, it can drag on as they use certain terminologies quite frequently, which we would start to get the concept in the later chapters. As we wrap up saving the nearby people that's looking to get to the Belfry, we get to receive skill points which will help us learn new skills. These can be given once we level up, as there are RPG elements to extend our character's growth by gaining materials and experience when each stage ends. We can use them in battle as focus skills that are similar to weapon mechanics, but has 2 different types we are able to equip. I always see this as the main priority to use each time whenever it is available, as they never let me down in any given situation. With all this being said, our adventure truly begins with being able to customize our equipment class and skills, as we need to take on the main story missions to save the people and build up on our danger level to unlock places even further. With all the resources gathered, we need to keep building on our equipment to get stronger, and we will receive a gear number that helps to find out whether we are above the recommendation point in terms of having a greater success on completing a stage. The Belfry will also be opened up to us as a central hub to get ourselves equipped and ready before going back out. We get to talk with NPCs that will give extra insights towards the world, and we can turn in our main story reports to Paloma for extra progression. Training is available at any time when speaking with Courage, new items can be forged with Blaze, and we can view bounties that act as side missions that can help us gain extra experience and rewards. I would definitely recommend the class tutorials here before starting off the main story, as it goes in depth to explore all the different features it has to offer. Now, with all this being said, the growth of this game kicks in the more we do play, to expand our character in a variety of different ways to suit our own playstyle. We will start seeing this with changing our equipment with features that may contain legacy added in to give us an extra benefit when applied, or adding aspects to them that can help raise a certain ability even further. Other things we can do would be checking out the cosmetics, as it can change things up. However, going through the menus feels like a live service game, as that's what it used to be before it changed its model for the final version. When we do get to explore more of the stages, they do provide variety, adding in traps, puzzles and interactions to bring something a little extra to the table rather than just going through a ton of enemies. This is where I was able to experiment with the abilities I do have to perform amazing combos and sequences to proceed on further. Along with that, the presentation also has its merit since it provides amazing visuals to these actions on screen. Overall, Towerborne is worth the wait to dive into a massive adventure, as the amount of hours given may factor in how much deeper we would be enjoying this. If any of you guys have any experiences with this game, feel free to share in the comments, and I hope you have a wonderful day.